So, Dito, what was expected from a woman in the 60s to 80s?
To stay home and take care of the kids.
Okay. What was home life like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s? And what were different significant changes?
You actually had sit-down family meals where you'd talk, not everybody running in two different directions or three different directions.
About the same for you?
Well, they all didn't have them little phones that they sit at the table and click with.
Yeah. What are some major differences from between raising a kid now and when you were raised as a kid?
I don't think it depends upon the parents. There shouldn't be a whole lot of difference. I mean, as long as you teach them respect, values, morals, and that should have been back in the 60s as well as today.
Okay. Pops?
Same.
Same? All right. What are significant changes in the role of women that you've seen?
Oh, women are more expected or accepted in the workplace.
Okay.
They weren't back then. They stayed home and took care of the family.
Yeah. Have there been changes in men's roles at all?
No, the man ruled.
All right.
You asked me a question.
What major inventions popular today do you wish that did and didn't exist?
A lot of the technology today I don't like. It's just, the cell phones, I mean, it's almost become an evil necessity sometimes, but it takes away from family life and talking, hearing people talk instead of the voices.
Yeah.
I don't like texting. If you want to talk to me, call me.
All right. What major inventions from your lifetime do you still wish were popular?
Oh gosh, I can't think of anything really. I really can't think of anything back then that I wish was still,
Yeah.
I think most everything that was invented is pretty much still in use.
Have there things started off in your lifetime that have changed differently?
Oh, yeah, they've evolved to,
Yeah.
improve over the years, but yeah.
Okay. What was the most impactful historical event that you lived through?
Oh, gosh, there's been a couple of them, I guess. JFK's assassination, Bobby Kennedy's assassination, the Vietnam War.
Could you elaborate on one of those, on how it impacted you?
Well, the Vietnam War,
My brother got
your
killed.
pops lost a brother, yeah.
We didn't accomplish a thing
Yeah, with the war, yeah.
with the war.
Yeah.
Just a lot of guys died, and when you came home, people just booed and spit at you.
Wow. All right. So, when you started working, what did you work and how much was the pay?
I worked selling Christmas trees, 50 cents an hour.
Nice.
I just told you.
What is one thing today that no one would have ever expected 50 years ago today?
Gosh. You want to pause that a minute, because I can't think.
Space?
When
Something they would not have expected 50 years ago.
we had television.
Did you expect color TV?
It just came in when we were,
Oh.
I mean, actually, are you recording?
Yeah.
Television actually came in black and white when we were young.
Okay.
Grade school.
Grade school, black and white.
Sure did.
Gosh, I guess space travel, as much as this, I guess they wouldn't have expected so much of that.
Yeah.
Like the manned space station and things like that.
Okay. What about you, Pops? Anything?
No, I don't want to say nothing.
All right.
Color TV
I said black and white.
back in when we were young.
When I was a kid, but in grade school.
So this is kind of a repeating, but like the most impactful historical event that you lived through? Would that be?
It would, I guess, the Vietnam War.
Yeah. Did that like change how you went to school at all? Like how you had to learn any
Well,
different?
we were out of school by the time the Vietnam War.
Okay. Were there? Do you like have to? Were you working then, at all?
Yeah, in fact, we were married, yeah, by
Okay.
then, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Your dad was born then too. He was
Oh.
born through the Vietnam War.
All right. So going back to like historical events. So what impacted you the most?
Okay, one of the things we forgot to mention was the race riots here in the 60s. They were, gosh, I'm trying to think, somewhere around 67, 68, something like that. Your grandpa actually he worked at Sears, and he had to go up and guard Sears
Wow.
on the roof up in Avondale. And kind of scary because I was home with a small baby at the time,
Yeah.
your dad. They just tore up Avondale. They just, and it was kind of I mean, the whole thing is useless.
Yeah.
Can't accomplish a thing.
Yeah.
No.
Did it affect like?
Own houses then.
It's like every so many years, you have the race riots again.
Yeah.
And
Did like it affect society and like your eyes?
at the time, yeah. I mean, it kind of split families apart, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Is there anything else?
Well, that all ties in with, like, I said before, JFK being killed and Martin Luther King being killed and Robert Kennedy. They were all partially due to the race problems. And what's going on nowadays with the Black Lives Matter, I don't agree with it. All lives matter.
Yeah.
I can't see where they keep coming up with just Black Lives Matter when they're killing little kids even.
Yeah.
Innocent little black kids, and to me, all lives matter.
Yeah. So, so has family life changed versus when you were raising a kid? Versus like,
Tremendously.
Yeah.
Raising your dad and your aunt and uncle, I was home most of the time. I only worked part-time occasionally. So there was always somebody at home when the kids got home from school.
yeah,
Nowadays, the kids come home on their own. Pretty much a lot of the kids are on their own all the time from the beginning,
yeah,
from grade school on. Also, you didn't have to worry about the kids. I mean, a lot of them, they went outside and they played.
yeah,
They'd get together and they'd play after school or all through the summer. Nowadays, the kids are home, in the house on the television or on their electronics. They didn't have all that back then.
Never see a kid outside playing much.
You very
Yeah.
seldom see kids outside playing anymore. Again, like I said before, you had family meals. Now it's everybody's running in different directions.
yeah,
There's just no time for family anymore, and I think that's part of what the problem with society is now.
Yeah.
You don't have that family unit. I think a lot of it has to do with lack of prayer, lack of religion.
yeah. Was religion strong when you were growing up?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we were in grade school, we went to church. We went to Mass every morning with the class,
Wow.
Monday through Friday, Sundays, I went to St. Martin's School, we had to go to an 8:30 children's mass, all of them it was required. And then at St. Martin's, you had to go to benediction at 2 o'clock every
Okay.
Sunday, and you did not miss it.
Wow. No.
And if you had a family picnic or any kind of family get-together, there was no excuses. You had to go to benediction first, and then you could go to your family functions. Yeah, I mean, times have changed tremendously on, the bringing up of kids.
Yeah. So what did you do as a kid? Like when, like hobbies growing up in like high school?
Oh,
Worked.
Worked?
there wasn't, as far as hobbies, not a lot of hobbies. It's just, you'd go outside, and all the neighborhood kids would get out and you'd just play.
Yeah.
And even, after we got married, our kids, they'd go out and play.
Yeah.
And it's just been, I'd say, in the last 20 to 30 years, that it's kind of gotten away with all the electronics.
Yeah.
Kids just don't go out and play anymore. They don't get the exercise
Yeah.
that they need, fresh air.
Was it like safer for kids growing up
Oh,
earlier?
God, yeah, you could walk anywhere.
So like you didn't have to worry about them at all?
Yeah, when we were in high school, we could walk up to the movies, to the restaurant, to get a soda or something,
Yeah.
You didn't have to worry. You could walk up at 9 o'clock in the evenings and it was safe. Now you can't let the kids out of your sight.
When did that start to change?
Oh, geez, I'm thinking, I would say maybe in the 70s it started to go a little bit, not bad, but I'm talking when I was in grade school, high school in the 50s and early 60s, you were, you could go anywhere.
Yeah.
I guess, I'm trying to think, in the 70s, you were pretty safe. Maybe it started late 70s, early 80s, somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
Kind of kept a closer watch on your kids.
Was there like a reason why it started to change? Was there like a major event or something?
There again, it's lack of family time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, lack of family unity, lack of prayer, values, morals.
Yeah.
Of course, they still had it pretty much then. It's really nowadays, the morals and values are just gone.
Yeah.
And I would say too, nowadays, you gotta watch all the big natural disasters that are going on.
Yeah.
Your tsunamis and your snowstorms and your flooding. I think God's trying to tell us all something.
Okay. Going back to like safety, were cars a big issue? I was like seatbelts, or like, did you drive often, or like?
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have seatbelts
You
when we
didn't have
first- didn't have-
seatbelts then. Then you didn't have car seats for kids.
No.
But there was a lot less cars. It was always a one-car family.
Yeah.
Now families have, if you have teenagers, you've got, the father has one, the mother has one, and each of the kids usually have one or two. So, it's 3 or 4 car families now.
Yeah.
So there's a heck of a lot more cars on the road.
Okay.
So,
So how has music or the media changed throughout the years?
Well, the media now, I
I'll say
mean,
they're liberal.
what? It's just, they lay everything out. They got video of everything. Back then they didn't have that.
Yeah. Is it better or worse, do you think?
I don't know. It stirs up. Media now stirs people up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then it didn't.
I think the music has changed,
Oh, that's
the
terrible.
movies have changed, there's too much violence and sex shown for the younger generation. The commercials on TV are very suggestive kids aren't innocent anymore like they used to be.
Yeah.
And some of it can be good, but the innocence, some of that can be good, but overall I don't think it's good for them.
Yeah.
The media, when it comes to the wars, I mean, they get right in there and they show exactly what's going on. You see the violence in there, and I mean, back in the Vietnam War, you saw clips after the fact, but not people going in and actually filming the war going on. To me, it's crazy. It just puts bad ideas in people's heads. I mean, the same with the violence nowadays with all the shootings and that. I think it's got to do with the games that they play, on the internet and not internet, but the
Video
games like
video
Xbox.
games and that. Yeah, they see violence and they want to experience it.
Yeah.
So
has the news, has like the news changed a lot versus like at all?
yeah, I think they're more vocal than they used to be. I mean, I don't know how to describe what I want to say. They just report too much. They harp on something, like a shooting of a policeman or a policeman shooting somebody. I mean, that's all you hear about, and it just stirs the pot.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mail my check here.
All right, I will.